Ange, how are you? It's good to see you again.
I'm
You're looking
good.
great. You're looking pretty
Thank
fancy
you.
for an afternoon.
I took a shower for you, man.
I can't- I wish I could say the
I even
same.
put in my earrings. How you like that?
That's what I mean. Holy swanky.
Yeah, woo.
How are things in Virginia today?
They are hot, but nothing
Yeah, we
compared to
talked
your
about.
area.
Yeah. Well,
88 and sweltering.
you can't take that away. I mean, honestly, because unless we hit 105, I don't really notice the heat.
Golly, I think I would combust at 105.
I do notice that like I turn fans on more often when we get over 100. That's about it.
Yeah, I have the fans going here and the AC unit going
Hey,
not terrible, but
speaking of big bad segues, we are both fans of today's
aha! Look at
today's
there. I like
topic
it.
because we were I mean honestly because we've been trying to get together for I think for about a month. That's why because some of the
Right.
stuff I'm going to talk about is already like outdated. But I've been getting kind of pumped for the music scene around here. I always am. I think it's more since I moved from Illinois or from Seattle certainly because
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't find access to any like the only one I remember I had was like a Green Day or something like that. It was
Hmm.
on Thanksgiving, and then it started raining and snowing and sleeting. You would have to stand in line for an hour to get in anyway. It's like, I'm not
Oh,
even going.
gosh. Yeah.
But this is our country, our summertime music and festival special.
My favorite time of year.
Yeah,
Music festivals all
isn't it
around.
interesting? Because it's number one, summertime. I've always been a big fan of summer, but in fact, I was birthed in summer.
Me too.
When?
The ninth, same month as you.
Really? Did I know that and
Uh-huh.
not remember?
Nope. Mm-mm. Nope, you didn't know.
Wow, how about them apples? Oh, that
Yep.
explains a lot because we're the same horoscope sign, zodiac
Yep.
sign.
Both Cancer.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, that explains a lot.
That's all
Well,
we needed to know.
we can sign off. That's I'm good. We can, but I
Oh,
got fired.
well.
I mean, because I'm hoping we could like kind of because I used to live where you are. That's when we
Hmm.
became friends, and I really love. I still do. I love the New River Valley area, and the music scene there was always interesting. Like, and we'll talk about a few of them,
Hmm.
but Texas and because I'm seeing some similarities. Like when I did the research for this,
Hmm.
I don't know if you noticed, but they'll pick because we're first of all we're talking about great music, and second of all not overpaying for it, and
Right.
I think third of all the experience, and
And new
you'll see
artists.
and new artists, yeah,
That's
which
my
I
favorite is the new artists that aren't mainstream yet because that's what I love the best. It's
well see that's
just
the
and
trend I was hoping you'd see in the outline because they pick out like those who are starting to sell bigger
hmm
places. Like when I first moved here, I don't know if you heard of Cody Johnson, but
hmm
he was just like 2 years away from playing local dive bars that we'll talk about. And then like I still hear people talking about they're like, yeah, I played down here when Cody Johnson was and like, oh, that's so cool. It's but you
yeah.
see them taking off. And I'll tell you right now, I'm seeing a kid named Jake Worthington. And God bless him, his music's great because he's ugly. But but he's doing great. He's married, he's ugly. God bless him. That's
Gosh.
I hope he doesn't listen to that and get upset. But
I'll have to look him up now. I can't resist. So yeah, Jake Worthington, I'm on it.
I'm telling you, it's holy. Well, well, they used to call George Jones the possum, so I think it's kind of like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Well,
for me, this started like, and I think it's merciful. Like you mentioned, the heat here in Texas, they start the bigger concerts like in April, and
yeah.
like in this year, there's a place called the Two Step Inn. It's only that's why I'm partly amazed by this because I was thinking about this episode. It's like I got the Two Step Inn, I've got the Saxon, I got the ABGB, I got the Continental Club, I got this, I've got all these things around me now like I've never
Hmm.
had before. But the Two Step Inn is just basically it's a good size like what do you want to call it? Dive bar. But
Yeah.
they get like big names. Like this year they had Alan Jackson. And
Wow.
I was like, what?
That's pretty impressive.
I thought so I started looking, is there another Alan Jackson? Because they couldn't have, but on the same ticket
Yeah.
was Miranda Lambert. It's like, I guess so.
Wow. Yeah,
But this
I
year,
mean, we're
oh,
pretty
go ahead.
fortunate in, we're having a lot of the American Idol guys and girls coming to some of our local little, like Long Way Home Brewing and places like that. We've had some of those names popping up. So
Well,
that's
that's where
been
Carrie
pretty
Underwood
cool.
started, right?
Yeah, and Kelly Clarkson, love her.
Yeah, well, see that's like that. I love that point of view because it's the same as mine. It's like I love these because I recognize, and I don't recognize by here. Obviously, we don't know the name, but I hear this music, and I was like, "Who's singing this?" It's like
Hmm.
these guys are damn good. But
I like that
the
feature on your phone where you can hit who is this artist?
oh, do you? Because I have to
Yeah.
ask Alexa a lot of the times.
Yeah. I have a little button on my phone under the search bar and I can say, who's this artist?
Well, the
It's
two
pretty
step
cool.
also I think is fair. It's fair value. They call it strong value, but if I'm never going again for the experience, I'm never going to buy the full weekend of tickets because because the full weekend is like $150. And this
Yeah.
year they had Cody Johnson, they had Flatland Cavalry, but so they call it a strong value if you attend the whole weekend. I'm not. I'll be honest. I'm not going to
I
attend the whole
evidently am
weekend.
strong value minded because I go for the whole shebang.
Do
I go
you?
the whole weekend. Yeah.
Oh, God bless you. And
Yeah.
we'll go more forward. And I figured we would start with Texas and go into Virginia, and then we'll go through
Sounds good.
cover the same. Because you talk about the full experience, and I'm talking the Kerrville Folk Festival, and that's usually around this time of year, like in June. But they call it Americana, a lot
Mm.
of acoustics, but it's best for number one. Kerrville is a beautiful area. You wouldn't believe it, Angie. It's where I want to be. I love
Oh,
Austin.
wow.
But I would love to be like own a house in Kerrville, and you can't afford it.
2.5
But
acres and a dog.
yeah, 20, 10, 10. I'm
Yeah.
losing faith, or 10, 10, 20, whatever you want to go. Don't forget we added a one, so it's 10, 10,
Yeah.
20, and one.
That's right.
But, but the day passes for them are $40.
Oh, that's cheap.
Yeah, and the whole festival, I think it's like a 3-day event, is like $300, and that includes your camping. So that's cool.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Camping's usually extra where I go.
Oh yeah. See and
Huh.
that's why again, looks like, I just passed up on camping last week. I was going to go camping up in the Panhandle. Number one, because the Jeep started a check engine light. That's not cool if you're driving
Uh,
6 hours one way. But
uh,
but I started watching as I looked at the weather. I'm like, okay, I'm going to reserve it. Then I watched and the weather was rising, so it was getting into the hundreds. It's like, man, maybe I better back off
uh.
because all
Need
I
to
had
ask
was
our
tent
friend to
camping.
borrow the new Jeep truck she got.
Oh, did she? We're going to have to talk.
Yeah. Whew.
Afterwards. But
You said
yeah,
Jeep. I went there.
because it's the only place I could get was still open because camping sells out quick, and
Yeah.
I made a last, but it was brace yourself. It was an RV. I had to get an RV place, a parking spot, camping spot. So it's got
Uh-huh.
power and what do you want to call it, electric, close to the showers.
Hmm.
$17. I was going all in. Yeah.
Woo.
I would look like an
That's
idiot though, because I
impressive.
got the paved RV lot with my tent off to the
Yeah.
side.
Hey, that's pretty smart, actually. That's brilliant.
Yeah, it's like I say, close to the showers and the bathroom. But
Got to be there.
hey, you're talking to an experienced camper. But we've got like local place, like I say, like within a half hour from me, is a place called the Whitewater Amphitheater, and it's supposed to be awesome. Number two, it's in New Braunfels. In New Braunfels, if you can make a day of it, uh, great for tubing because that's a big deal here in Texas. We got to find water because
Yeah.
in the summer we got so there's a lot of tubing and New Braunfels is great for tubing. The Guadalupe River is great for tubing. My son and I went down to San Marcos tubing, but you can put it all together. And they got some big names too. Like one of my favorites, the local Austin band. You probably heard of them, Shane Smith and the Saints.
Yeah. I'm going to see them in September.
Oh, don't give it up because we're going to talk
I
about where you're going in
won't.
September.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. I saw him in Chicago, not last November, but the November before. A buddy of mine
Oh,
had a,
wow.
a VIP, he had a VIP ticket. He's like, and his buddy backed out. He's like, "Can you get up here to Chicago?" I'm like, yeah, I can. For that, I can. But
Absolutely.
and if you want to see my picture with Shane Smith and the Saints, it's on MitchWonders.com.
Oh,
But
okay.
uh, but yeah, some of the local dives I talked about, like the Saxon Pub, you can. There's no other way to put it. No frills, but it's got strong local. It's like where you can get a long neck for $5. God bless them. Good bands. It's never insane. You got Green Hall. I've been to Green Hall maybe 10 times since I lived here.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
it's for me. It's like it's not quite an hour drive, but it's not a bad drive. Like everything in Texas is measured in hours instead of miles. But
Yeah.
and you got the Cheatham Street Warehouse. Again, well, that's San Marcos I just told you about. That's only about 20 minutes away. And Randy
Gosh.
Rogers bought it. Like Randy Rogers is one of the known Texas names. I think he's the kind that's going to be big. He's known nationally, but he's never going to get, sell out stadiums. But he's obviously doing okay. He bought the Cheatham Street and he just built another rooftop bar.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you've got all that close to you. That's amazing.
It is cool. And
I'm a
Cheatham
little
Street is
jealous.
Cheatham Street also launched somebody you might have heard before, a guy named George Strait. Hear him?
Ooh, yes.
Huh?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
see, and
impressive.
the king lives an hour away from me. Not that we'll ever meet, but it's a
Hey, George Strait,
possibility.
if you're listening, we'd love to meet you.
Yeah, stop on by. But I'm gonna tell you, like we talked about, this is now we'll get into Virginia after the Texas
Oh, you're
artists to
good.
watch in 2025. Treaty Oak Revival. They've only been around since 2019, and they're already killing. They're hitting bigger stages. They're not right there, like they're still saying they're like mid-tier ticket prices. So if you see Treaty Oak, give them a try. I talked
Okay.
about Jake Worthington, and you and I talked about Caitlin Butts because Caitlin Butts is coming to your festival too, and
Yes.
she's not from Texas, but a lot of people like she's from Oklahoma, and a lot of people like John Wolfe and Caitlin Butts. They still it's red dirt country, so they're still accepted well around here, even
Writing
though they're
down
not.
Red Treaty Oak Revival. I had to write it down.
Yeah, yeah, it's worth writing down. They're pretty good, and I'll tell you one day about the history of where Treaty Oak comes from too. It's a whole Austin story, but um, but now in Virginia, like you and I talked about, you've got some. I love Floyd. I don't know what it is, but you got Floyd
Yeah.
Fest in July.
Yeah, Floyd Fest is it's huge. And I mean it had an off year because of location. They had some problems with where it was going to be, but now it's
Oh
in a
yeah.
new venue and it's got some big headliners this year. And
Well,
I'd love
yeah.
to go.
There's
But
a rumor Tyler Childers is going to be there,
yeah, and Red Clay Strays.
and they're killing. I mean,
Yeah, they are
even
amazing. But
well, that's
yeah, Floyd
Zach
Fest
Top
is
is in that
really
band.
good.
Well, I mean, because that's it's because I love because I that's where I learned to I don't know what do you call that when you dance and it's because I
Flatfoot.
yeah, there you go. Like it's my friend Nancy called it planting taters. Just pretend like you're planting taters with your feet.
You just
That's all I
stomp
get.
them. Dig it up and stomp. Dig it up and stomp. Yep.
But that's like, again, strong. You can they call it a strong artist discovery potential, but the 3 day pass is only about $250.
Yeah, and I mean, they offer some pretty cool things with glamping and yurts and all types of upscale camping that you can get with
Okay.
VIP packages, 1200 and up. But I think I've got a friend that does VIP and I think it's worth it. Foods, drinks, the camping and everything. But
Well, that's what they say. The VIP ticket is, obviously the up level, but one of the, for Texas, they talk about it's got shade. Um,
mhm,
it's got bathrooms. So, I mean, for guys, it's less important, but for girls, I get it.
yeah.
And a lot of times you got private, bar access, which is also nice.
Yeah, I think it would be worth it for some of these bigger, especially Floyd Fest. It's gotten huge. I haven't been in a few years. I'm thinking I might put it back on my radar next year, but I've been going south on 81.
Really? What's
Yeah.
like towards Charlotte?
No, I've been going towards Bristol, Abingdon, Bristol,
Okay.
downtown Bristol, where they have the Rhythm and Roots. They also have a lot of street music festivals. And July 12th, they're having Tan and Sober Gentlemen, which is one of my favorites. I don't know if you've
Tan and
ever heard of
sober?
them.
No, I
No, they're
haven't.
not tan and they're not sober, but they're called the Tan and Sober Gentlemen, and they are Celtic punk rock bluegrass.
Well, that's the Rhythm and Roots reunion, they call it, right?
Yeah, Rhythm and Roots reunion.
Well, they're calling themselves Bristol has and I think anybody who does this because I've heard it more than one place call it the birthplace of country music.
Yeah, they have a museum there. They
How
actually
did
have a museum.
and then you'll notice my hat right now. You can see my preferences.
Yeah, Texas to Nashville. I like it.
Texas greater than
No,
Nashville.
I'm just saying, should
I
be equal.
yeah, we'll talk about
Although I
why I
did go
can't
to
support.
Nashville once, and I was disappointed because I was traveling with a few ladies that got really tired around 9 o'clock, and one of us doesn't get tired at 9 o'clock. And I said,
What?
I'm
Yeah, I traveled
not
to
happy.
Nashville twice.
I'm going
Once
back, hopefully.
well, both were on purpose, but once was to move my oldest son down there when he was living down by Vanderbilt. Didn't last long, but I moved all his stuff down there. But yeah, well, because they're talking about the 25 lineup, and I haven't heard of most any of these. I've heard of one like Wyatt Flores, but
Hmm.
Margot Price.
I haven't heard of Margot Price, but did you see Ricky Skaggs is going to be there?
Oh yeah, check
And the
this
band
out.
Perry.
I had tickets to Ricky Skaggs at Green Hall, and that's one thing I like about. I mean, because you get these bigger festivals. They're festivals, not
Hmm.
I'll take general admission seating all day long because I don't want to be trapped down in that crowd.
Yeah,
But
same here.
I had Ricky Skaggs tickets down at Green Hall, and one of the big I think uh, advantages of where I live is they fully expect you to walk up to the stage. The bands are like like 10 feet away. I could see Ricky Skaggs, and I didn't
Oh,
realize I had bought the ticket for the same night I was away on work travel. Like, God dang
oh,
it.
crap.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
had to eat it, and that was like a $40 ticket because that's a big deal. Because down at Green Hall, the most I ever paid was a $45 ticket for Lyle Lovett, um, and usually they're like 25 bucks, 25 bucks. I
Dwight
paid
Yoakam
five.
was just here Friday night. He
Oh,
was down in Salem Friday night. And I
he's
saw
a
him in
buddy.
Bristol also, and he was flipping amazing. I
Yeah,
mean,
I
he was
think
just at a small parking lot, in Bristol. I think the tickets
really.
there were like 40. And we've
That
seen
would have
El
killed.
King in Bristol. Your band, Shane Smith and the Saints, are going to be at Bristol Rhythm and Roots also.
That I see. I get the tingles every time because I'm a
And
fan of their
49
music.
Winchester.
Oh yeah, I was going to ask you about some of them
Yeah.
bands because
Yep. Very good.
well, that's don't give it away. That's one of your bands to watch later.
Okay.
But oh yeah, you're right. They do have a museum down there. I didn't read my own damn notes. But it's you see I mean, because of course you hear like the Stones are in their 80s and still going at it pretty good, and but these bands like D White's probably only about 50,
Hmm.
but he's still crushing it, and he's going to be around. I mean, to see, I'm getting all fired up now. I knew this would be a fun episode,
Yeah.
but the Rhythm and Roots. I mean, they're talking about 120 bucks, 150 bucks, 180 bucks for the
I
3 day
think I paid
pass.
149, but I always buy mine the last day of the festival last year, so you get a discount. But I
Oh,
think
good
if you wait,
call.
yeah, if you buy them on the last day of the festival, you get a pretty good discount. Then they have like Thanksgiving that week, they have another hey, buy your ticket. But I think it's now like 199 maybe,
Yeah,
like
this
199.
listed like 120 to 180, so you got right in the
Yeah.
wheelhouse there. What about
Yeah, well, that's taxes and everything. You got to pay whatever taxes
you
and
ever
all that
get
on
down
it.
to Mount Solon? I don't know how to pronounce it. Mount
I have
Solon?
not. I can't wait to find that. Yeah, I have never
Yeah.
been there. Now
Well, I
I've
like the
been to the
way it sounds
good.
good because I mean, I've heard about the steel wheels. I've heard the name, but I
Hmm.
like the way they call it a small but tightly curated lineup. I like that.
Yeah, I have never even heard of that place, so I'm definitely excited to check that one out.
Yeah, you'll have to let us know if we come back and talk again.
I
It
will. I'll
says
do a
it's
video live from there. How's that?
oh, we're so due
It's
for
for
that.
science.
I, I s- I'm going to do some face-to-face episodes as soon as I find, and this is not funny. Everybody's listening, and Angie, this is not funny, but 2 years ago, I looked it up on Amazon because I can't find it. I bought an interface and a couple cables and a spare microphone so I can connect everything between two computers and we can do it face to face. God is my witness, I can't find it. It's around my house somewhere. I've lost it, and it's my house isn't that big. I have
It's
taken
there.
like 3 different times. I've checked every room, every box, I even re-cleaned a closet to try to find it.
Somebody
I,
borrowed it.
but nobody would know what it is.
Well, maybe your kids.
That's a
But yeah,
possibility.
if I ever
That's
get
a
to Mount
possibility.
Sloan, I'm going to definitely, I mean, I'm looking forward to that one. I think that would be cool. I've
Yeah,
never
yeah.
even heard of it.
Well, how about some of these local plays? They say local, but I know there are drives for you. They talk about the
Well,
Jefferson Theater in
Roanoke's
Charlottesville.
45 minutes north.
Yeah,
Five
that's a
Points,
drive.
yeah, it's not bad, but five only because it's 81 north. That's the sucky part. But Five Points Music Sanctuary, really nice. They've had some really good bands. I love it when they have Crawford and Power. They're a local band that we have here. They're awesome. And a friend of mine, Eric, plays with them, and they're really, really good. You should look them up sometime. And then they have another band, Jared Stout. He's really good. The ladies love him. They love him. But
Well, it's a nice price range for tickets too, 15 to
yeah,
35
not bad
bucks.
at all. But we have one that wasn't listed, the Grandin Theater in Roanoke. Ian
Yeah.
Fortier has been bringing, he brought Caitlin Crisco. and the broadcast. I mean, he's had some really good lineups. So he had Tan and Sober Gentleman. So I'm hoping I would love to see him get Turnpike Troubadours. So, but he's been doing pretty good in Roanoke, but that's you have to go to Roanoke to hear any kind of real music around here. Long Way Home Brewing is doing some music,
Ooh, there
but
you
I
go.
mean do you remember the church down below the townhouse that our
Sure.
friend lived in? There was a big church on the hill. They've converted
Yeah.
it into a brewery.
Ooh, that's got a little creepy factor, right?
Yeah, I have a hard time getting drunk in a church.
Yeah.
But
I don't
just
know.
feels
Well, if you
wrong.
if you grew up Catholic, you wouldn't.
I'm thinking about converting, but yeah, it's a beautiful building, but they have some good music and a lot of local bands. We have a southern rock band, Parker's Pillbox. They're pretty cool. They're pretty
Well,
cool.
well, how about these other Virginia artists they say to watch for in 2025? You already brought up 49 Winchester.
Yeah,
Uh,
49 Winchester. I've seen them three times. They're really good. They bring such a strong showing at Bristol. Man, people come from all over to see those boys. They're awesome.
I feel like
Morgan
I've heard
Wade,
of, yeah, I've heard of him. That's what I was going to say.
Morgan Wade, it's a girl. Morgan
What?
Wade, yeah, she's a
Who am I
hot little
thinking? Oh, I'm
number.
thinking of Morgan Wallen.
Morgan Wallen.
And
Throw a
you won't
chair
hear
at
that
you.
name come out of my mouth ever again. So,
You'll get hit with a chair.
ah,
Wasn't that
what
him?
what a what a dork. Yeah.
Yeah. No, Morgan Wade, I think her roots are in Floyd. She's a
Oh,
Floyd
really?
girl. Yep.
See, I just love the Floyd area. I really do. What
Yeah.
about Charles Wesley Godwin?
See, now I haven't heard of him. So I got to
They
look
say,
that one
well,
up.
he's
Yeah,
leaning
that's
into
new to
headliner
me.
status. You better hurry. You might be too
Heck
late.
yeah. I'm like, and so, the headliners that I always look for, like hippies and cowboys, people that, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm excited because I've seen them once, so I know how great they are. So I've got to do a little more digging into this Charles Wesley Godwin. I mean, I'm like, I never even heard of him. Totally
And so
disappointed in myself. But
some of these
the
shows,
Jefferson's good too. I've only
well,
been
you
there
got
once.
see, you got a bunch.
Yeah, we've got a few. It's like I said, it's just an hour drive north. And I don't
Oh,
mind, but it's how you remember how Roanoke is?
oh, I do.
From Christiansburg to Roanoke sucks.
It does.
81
And
north is horrible.
that's why I say going down to Green, it's like, almost an hour drive, but I can haul ass down I-35 and come back a back road. I'm back in my house in a heartbeat. But
No, you're
I've never
looking
had a problem.
you've got to allow an hour and 15 minutes to get to Roanoke from here, just because of the traffic and congestion and accidents. But they do have some great music. Like I said, I've been enjoying Bristol, but we have casinos around here now. We have Hard Rock
No.
in Bristol, and they have been bringing like George Thorogood. I mean, they've been bringing all kinds of headliners.
Yeah,
JJ
there's
Gray
another
and
one.
Mofro. Yeah,
Well, because I mean, and we touched base on it a little bit, and I want to talk about, how, I don't want to break the bank for these shows,
yeah,
but the major festivals, they say, for the ticket prices alone have gone up 8 to 12%. And the
yeah.
VIPs have gone up. They say the options have exploded, and you can see where they might
Hmm.
people like if people are going to pay for it, we'll build it. But
Right.
500 to 1,500 bucks for maybe a weekend show, that's not going to happen in this kid's house.
Rhythm and Roots, by the time we get our tickets and our Airbnb, um, yeah, it's $1,000 for the weekend.
Well, then, but then you see now you're not doing the camping thing. You're doing the Airbnb, which I
Well,
think
you have four
is a
women
good
with
choice.
makeup bags that are like,
That's a good choice. Trust me, you're preaching to the choir. But 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 then I don't know about you, but I never fall for. I did buy a Shane Smith t-shirt. That's the last t-shirt I bought. Like I mentioned, that was 2 years ago. But t-shirts are like about 50 bucks, 40, 50
you know what
bucks.
I buy every time that I find a new person? The vinyl. I love the
Oh, do
vinyls.
you?
Yeah, I like Caitlin Crisco, 49 Winchester, Hippies and Cowboys, Red Clay Strays. I buy all their vinyls.
That's
And usually
interesting.
those are 25 bucks.
Yeah, that's interesting. I like that idea because I've recently, I've got tired of having these electronic services sitting on my kitchen counter, they offering video and
Hmm.
basically being more frustrating than they're worth. So I brought in my old Boston acoustic speakers. I brought in my old Marantz or Yamaha receiver. I never
Oh
had a
yeah.
turntable with this though. I gotta find, I was thinking about getting a turntable and putting it on top.
Highly recommend it because there's just something about the vinyl. It's just and it's coming back, thankfully, but I really enjoy the vinyls and I try to get them, and it supports the local artists too. Because that's the whole thing is finding these new and upcoming artists to me is so much better than, going to somebody that's been on the radio for 10 years and every word to every song. I really like the freshness that music festivals brings. And you get more bang for your buck, I think.
Well, let's talk about like you mentioned all these new artists coming up. I'm gonna give you. I'll let you do yours and I'll do mine. Let's do the quick fire picks in Virginia in 2025. Ready? Best artist to see live.
In Virginia,
Yeah.
Dan and Sober Gentlemen.
Ooh, I'm gonna go with Shane Smith.
Okay.
Okay, most overpriced ticket this year, but that's just overall. Post Malone, I guess. He's
Teddy
got his
Swims.
yeah.
I would love him, but my gosh, the tickets have gone through the roof.
Well, Post Malone found his. He's from Texas. I'm not gonna break. I can't take that away from him. But he's found his country roots again. He's doing a country pivot tour. So I guess he's pivoting back to
I
country.
love to watch him dance.
I'm telling you that, and I played Post Malone's country album, a couple songs in the car, and the last time my son was down there, he's like, "This is Post Malone." He's like, "That's pretty good."
Yeah,
Okay,
he's got an old place.
best value festival for Virginia.
I'm going to say Bristol Rhythm and Roots.
Ooh, I'm gonna go
Over
Kerrville, but that's
120. Yeah, over 100. I like it better than Floyd. Over 120 artists. The restaurant lineups, the bars, all the bars have local artists, the drink menus. It's the best bang for the buck.
how about the best location in Virginia with the best sound? I think you already touched on it.
Either the Grandin or Five Point Music Sanctuary.
Yeah, 5 points is what I heard too. I'll go with the
Yeah, Five
Whitewater
Points.
Amphitheater
Yeah.
down in New Braunfels. They get some big names and still get some great sound. I haven't been there yet, but I hear things. Okay, tell me for your point of view, is there anyone you would drive? Who are you willing to drive 5 hours for?
Ooh, good question. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a musician, but Adam Sandler, I would drive everywhere for that
Well,
man.
I'm gonna ask you to make it a musical choice.
Oh, sorry. Okay, musical choice. I would probably drive 5 hours to see Teddy Swims if the ticket wasn't so bad.
See, I'm staying local Texas because I keep thinking, I've driven to Corpus Christi before for bands, and that's a 3 hour, 15-minute drive. So you add another hour 45. I'm not that impressed. So I would
Right.
go. But for
Yeah,
me, it would
you've
be
got a lot going on locally.
like a Josh Ward or a John Wolfe, both those guys. Like if I had a country person, a Texas country music, if there's anyone I'd say is my guy, it'd be
Uh-huh.
John Wolfe. But if they have a good opening act, like those up and comers, like John Wolfe has been touring recently with Wynn Williams, and I told you about Wynn Williams before.
Yeah.
Keep an eye out for him. But for me, good opening act, good band, I'll drive for it.
Well, I also, which he's been around, really like Jason Isbell. He's
Never
an
heard.
incredible performer. I
So do you
wish he
have
would
any?
come.
You got the Bristol Fest, but is that your only ticket so far for the summer?
Yeah, that's the only thing that I have lined up. I mean, Floyd Fest, I think it's probably sold out by now, but with, how life is with work and my
Yeah.
cleaning jobs, it's really hard to take more than, 4 or 5 days in a row off at any time.
Good Lord, yes. I mean, life is what happens when you're busy making other plans, right?
Ain't that the truth? But hey, we're going to hit Texas and hit one of your music festivals. I'm going
You
to
need
make
to.
Paige do this with me.
Well, I'll keep an eye out for it. I'll tell you right now, you better start planning for October because don't come here in the summer.
No, we couldn't do it. October, I mean, I'd say they'd go on through November in your area too, wouldn't they?
October's safe. I mean, you'll get good weather. Like for me, and just like the years I've lived here, I see October 15th is when it starts turning into like fall. But
Uh-huh.
for me, I've got a September ticket down in Green Hall for Kelly Willis. I was really excited to see Kelly Willis. I think no, I didn't tell you about it. Because it was just there's another one called the Devil's Backbone. It's the oldest
Which is a local
honk.
beer for us.
It is, and they sell it there,
Yep.
oddly enough. But uh, it's a
Kelly
45-minute
Willis.
drive. But I saw just on a whim. I went to see on a Friday night. I was bored, so I drove out there and I saw and damn it, Angie, I'm in love. I mean, literally, I
Ah,
might be in love with her.
was she the one wearing the hat?
No, she wasn't wearing a hat that
Oh,
night,
okay, wait.
but she's age appropriate and
Uh-huh.
recently divorced and
Uh-oh.
and has 4 kids. Not that I'm looking up, but Kelly, if you're listening, we should get together and flirt sometime.
And
But
Kelly, if you're listening, I can vouch he's a great guy.
thanks for
And
lying
there
for
you
me.
go. And I'm the original Angie's List.
Well, one last thing we got to touch on is something I think you and I should keep an eye on. I have an international destination for you, me, some of our friends. The
Ooh.
C2C Country to Country Festival. It's in London, Scotland, and or it's in England, Scotland, and Ireland.
Oh
And
my
it's
gosh.
and so we'd have to plan for early next year because it's already happen. It happens in March. So brace yourself for rain. But
Oh yeah.
but but it's usually it's the largest country music festival in Europe. Like they have big lineup. Like this year they have Casey Musgraves and they had
Yeah.
Midland, another Texas band, and a lot of Red Dirt acts. So don't be surprised to see Red Clay Strays there. And so I think it would be because the UK, I guess, is deeply loyal to
Yeah.
Americana and like I like outlaw country. They love that stuff. And
Yeah.
they love
I'm glad it's
barbecue. I know
making a
that.
comeback. I'm loving the, as you call it, red. I'm loving the red dirt music. I'm loving it.
I am too. And I'll tell you this festival if we go the multi-day pass is like only about 250 bucks. But it's like I say, get ready for rain. So
Yeah.
don't worry, it's indoors. And
I
uh
don't care.
and if
Sea
you're
to
up for
sea.
it, you can hit 2 or 3 cities. So make it like a just like an event, like a multi-city, multi-country road trip.
Oh, that would be amazing.
I know, wouldn't
That would
it?
be amazing.
And we saw because when we went to Scotland last time, we rented a Verbo. It was right downtown Edinburgh, and we didn't know it, but there's a little a bar right next to it, and they would have like a guy with a guitar and somebody just singing and just sitting at the bench drinking beer, and it was so nice. It was
Hmm.
I
I
would be there
love that
now.
whole vibe. I mean, that's, yeah, my retirement plan. I hope it consists of good music and a cold beer somewhere.
Yeah, see, I can't even think about it. We talked about retirement doesn't scare me,
Hmm.
but I am concerned about because we work so much. I can't ever imagine not working. But
Yeah.
we'll have to talk about another because right now
Maybe
we're
we can
talking
get
about
jobs at music festivals.
there we go.
Win-win. They pay us to be there.
I like how you roll.
I'll send Kelly Willis your resume.
I'm telling you, she was talking to the audience because it's a real small crowd. I'm telling you, again, it was like I could have walked up and talked to her, except she was singing. But she was telling us like, why aren't you guys flirting with each other? She's like, why don't you guys just? She wanted to see more of that. It was so nice. You got to meet her sometime.
Yeah,
I'll bring
I
her
hope
over,
so.
or
All
maybe when
right.
you come by, she'll be at the house.
Okay.
Kelly, if you're listening, because she lives in Austin. Yeah, did I tell you that?
Oh, I like it.
It feels like density. But hey, we're rambling on. Like we don't stop rambling. We'll go on all afternoon.
That's all
But
right.
I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day today because I know you're super busy, but it's always fun when we get together.
It's always good to see you. And let's get together and listen to some country music sometime.
Amen.
Amen.
See you, Gene.
God bless Texas.